Alright guys, so we are going to be working on 1.6 on your own. So I'm going to model 5 and 6 for you, and then you are going to do 7 and 8 on your own. So I have found that with problems with a decimal, I like to write them on an extra sheet of paper. So I'm just going to flip to an extra sheet. And with problems with decimals, I like to put my piece of paper just like this so that I can use these blue lines to help me organize my work. So my problem is number 5, which is 57. So this is number 5, and it is 57, 8, and it's adding plus, I'm going to actually move that over, plus 34 plus 7. Okay. So now that we can see it, we're going to estimate first. So I look at this problem and I see that it's 57. This 0 does not tell me to round up, so I keep it at 57. Plus, well, this 7 makes me think that I need to add or round up my 4. So it's 57 plus 35. 57 plus 35. 7 plus 5 equals 12. 5 plus 1 equals 6. 6 plus 3 equals 9. So that's my estimate, is 92. All right, so now I'm going to do the actual problem, which is I start with my hundredths place. So 8 plus 1. 8 plus 1 equals 9. Then I go over here to my tenths place. 0 plus 7 equals 7. I keep my decimal exactly where it is, so I just bring it straight down. Now I see that 7 plus 4 equals 11, so I put my 1 down here, and my tens, or so it would be the first 1 in my 11 up here. Now it's 1 plus 5 equals 6. 6 plus 3 equals 6 plus 3 equals 9. So it comes out to 91. I don't know why this is not focusing for you guys. It comes out to 91.79. So we are pretty close with our estimate. We were just a little bit off with our decimals. All right, so now I'm going to do a subtraction problem. I'm just going to bring it down the page and bring it down here. I hope that my camera will start to focus. So, which is my problem number 6. And that is 20.11 minus 13.27. All right. I'm going to write that on my sheet, which is 20.11 minus 13.27. All right. My directions say that I need to estimate first, so that will be my first step. I look at this, my 1 in the 10th place does not tell me that I need to round up because it is below 5. So I still keep it at 20. This 2, if it was rounded up from the 7, would only be a 3. So it's still not larger than 5, so it's still 13. So if I'm going to round, it would be 0 minus 3, which I cannot do, which becomes, I have to borrow from here, which becomes a 1. This becomes 10. 10 minus 3 equals 7, while 1 minus 1 equals 0. You don't always have to write that 0, but just in case you need to. So now we're going to go here. That is my estimate, would be 7. 1 minus 7. I can't do that. So I take from here. This becomes a 0. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 7 equals 4. 0 minus 2, I cannot do. That rhymed. I would try to take from here, but I can't. So I need to take from here. This becomes 1. This becomes 10. Then I take from it. Sorry, you guys weren't able to see that. Did you see that I borrowed from the 2. The 2 became a 1. I took it over to here. I made this 0 into a 10. But I know that I have to move 1 over, so I made it into a 9 because I took 1 away from it. And this 0 over here becomes 10. So 10 minus 2 equals 8. I bring my decimal point down right here. 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3 equals 6. 1 minus 1 equals 0. I'm just writing that there just so you guys have it. So my answer comes out to 6.84. Now, on your own, I would like you to complete number 7 and number 8. You will answer the questions for that on this edpuzzle. All right, so now we get into more of a multi-step problem, which is number 9, 11, well, it's really 9 through 14. So my directions say practice and copy and solve. Evaluate using the order of operations. Sorry, I'm like bringing you all around. So my first direction is copy and solve. So I'm going to copy. I'm going to use my same sheet of paper and copy. I'm copying. You just can't see me copy because I need to be able to look at the problem. I'm going to do number 9. Number 9 is 8.01 minus parentheses 2.2 plus 4.67 parentheses. All right, so I copied that over. We need to evaluate using the order of operations. I know that everything in the parentheses needs to be done first because of PEMDAS. P, the first letter in PEMDAS, tells me that I need to complete what is in the parentheses first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to give myself a space for my step 1, which would be completing 2 plus 2 equals, 2 plus 2, oh my gosh, 2.2 plus 4.67. So I gave myself this little box to complete that. All right, 2.2 plus 4.67. Okay, so this blank spot means it counts as a 0. So 0 plus 7 equals 7. 2 plus 6 equals 8. Bring down that parentheses, bring down your decimal point. And now it's 2 plus 4 equals 6. So my answer comes out to 6.87. Now I need to use this answer for the next part. Now I look back at my problem. I just solved what was in here. Sometimes to make it a little bit easier for myself, I write what I got up here so that I know this in the parentheses equals that. Now I'm going to make myself another little box. So this was my step 1 to complete my step 2. My step 2 is 8.01 minus 6.87. So I'm going to go over here and write it out. 8.01 minus 6.87. Notice that I always line up the decimal points, whether it's an addition problem or not. To line them up is making sure that you have all of your order of operations and your place values in order. So, and that's also why these lines are very helpful and I try to follow them. 1 minus 7. Well, you can't do 1 minus 7, so you have to borrow from here. You can't. So you go over here. This becomes a 7. This becomes a 10. But you have to take from it, so you cross it off again. That becomes 9 because I took 1 away from it. This becomes 11. 11 minus 7 equals 4. 9 minus 8 equals 1. Bring down your decimal point. 7 minus 6 equals 1. My answer to number 9 is 1.14. All right. I would like you to complete number 10 on your own. I will, once you are finished it, I'd like you to press play on the video again. I'm going to go through and do it so you can check your work alongside me. So we have, you should have just answered number 10 on the video, and I am going to complete number 10 just in case there was any type of confusion or problems. So I might go a little bit faster than the last problems, but that's okay. So number 10 is 54 plus parentheses 9.2 minus 1.413. All right, so PEMDAS tells us that we always need to do whatever is in the parentheses first. So I like to just give myself a little box to be able to complete this problem, because this is my step 1. You don't have to do the box, it just helps me keep myself organized. So I start with 9.2 minus 1.413. All right. You guys might have had a little bit of trouble lining all of this up. So if you do, use an extra sheet of paper to complete and turn it sideways, just like this. All right, so 9.2 minus 1.13. This blank space up here represents a 0. So I can't do 0 minus 3. I can't do 0 minus 1. So I need to go over to this 2. I borrow 1. It becomes a 1. This becomes 10. But I still need to borrow it to move on to my next problem. So that becomes a 9. And this becomes 10. Hopefully it'll focus on for, there we go. Now 10 minus 3 equals 7. 9 minus 1 equals 8. 1 minus 4. Okay, I can't do that. So I need to go over to the 9. I take away 1. It becomes 8. This becomes 11 because there was already a 1 there. So 11 minus 4 equals 7. Bring down your decimal point. 8 minus 1 equals 7. So this is what is in the parentheses. So 7.787. All right. So now I need to do 54. This is my step 1. Step 2. If you were unable to complete this problem or you got it wrong, this would be a great time to check your work. You can always pause the video to check. So I need to do 54 plus, and that is, when you're setting this problem up, 7, the first 7 in that number, this one right here, represents the ones place. So you need to line it up with the ones place of 54, which would be right here underneath the 4. 7.787. Okay. So now we're adding to it. I don't like that this is crooked for you guys. There we go. Now we're adding. This blank space represents a, if you said a 0, then you are correct. This represents a 0. So 0 plus 7 equals 7. 0 plus 8 equals 8. 0 plus 7 equals 7. Now bring down your parentheses, bring down your decimal point. 4 plus 7 equals 11, so you got to bring one up here. 1 plus 5 equals 6. Your answer is 61.787. Depending on how much time you have, I would like you to complete 11 and 12 by yourself. You're going to answer some of those questions through the edpuzzle. If you have time, you may go on to 13 and 14 to practice this extra skill. All right, thanks guys. Bye.